Joining us now is Alex Stein, comedian and host of Blaze TV's Primetime with Alex Stein. Alex, great to see you. Donald Trump has signed an executive order that will reduce the cost of prescription drugs and pharmaceuticals by 30% to 80%. Now, Donald Trump made the announcement on Truth Social yesterday, saying for many years, the world has wondered why prescription drugs and pharmaceuticals in the United States of America were so much higher in price than they were in any other nation, sometimes being 5 to 10 times more expensive than the same drug manufactured in the same laboratory or plant by the same company. It was always difficult to explain and very embarrassing because, in fact, there was no correct or rightful answer. Now, Alex, this is no doubt going to make a big difference to families. How is the news being received over in the US?
Well, people are happy. I mean, we have a for-profit medical healthcare system that really only cares about making money instead of actually helping their patients. And
Mm.
so the fact that insulin prices are exceptionally higher in America than they are in Mexico, a country that I was just in, makes absolutely no sense. So it's not like we're asking for free healthcare. We just want the prices of the drugs that we all depend on to live to be affordable and to have caps on them and to make it so that we can live our lives and these companies can still go on their, five-star vacations. These CEOs are still going to be wealthy, even if these drugs are affordable. So I love what Donald Trump is doing. It is obviously a step in the right direction. But sadly, our healthcare system is going to need a lot of work to actually,
Mm.
make it a system that helps people instead of just keeping people sick.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Donald Trump is reportedly set to receive a palace in the sky after Qatar's royal family pledged to gift the US president a luxury jet. The aircraft is also reportedly expected to serve as Air Force One in just 2 years' time. This is causing some controversy. There are concerns that he's accepting a gift from Qatar. It also feels a bit off brand. He's someone who, of course, donates his presidential salary. What are your thoughts on this? Do you have any concerns?
Well, obviously it is, a little bit of a quid pro quo. I mean, it kind of has to be. They're giving him a free plane, but I'm okay with it personally because we need a jet. But I think the bigger story personally is the fact that Boeing can't produce this plane. So now we have to take a plane from Qatar because the current 747-200, I believe, is over 30 years old. And this Qatari plane was built in, less than 15 years old. So it's just sad that Boeing, arguably one of the greatest American companies, not anymore, cannot produce the proper Air Force One for the president. So
Mm.
listen, it's sad that we're in this situation that we have to take the jet. I don't mind it. This is geopolitics. They want to get in good favor with Donald Trump. Donald Trump wants to get good favor with the Middle East and try to negotiate a peace deal, in the Gaza Strip. So listen, you got to play ball. It's a very nice gift. I think we should accept it wholeheartedly. And it goes to the Trump Museum. So it's really Trump's plane. So with all that being said, bring it on. As long as it flies him around the country safe, that's all I care about.
Well, Donald Trump has fired back at reporters who have questioned him on this, and he's also taking aim at the Democrats. He posted on Truth Social. So the fact that the Defense Department is getting a gift free of charge of a 747 aircraft to replace the 40-year-old Air Force One temporarily in a very public and transparent transaction so bothers the crooked Democrats that they insist we pay top dollar for the plane. Anybody can do that. The Dems are world-class losers. MAGA. I mean, he loves any excuse to take on the Dems. What do you make of this statement?
Well, I mean, he's absolutely right. What did Kamala Harris's campaign spent $1 billion and still somehow ended up $100 million in debt? The Democrats have no idea on how to balance a checkbook. So, them wanting to pay full retail for this plane, it just shows you how ludicrous these people are and they're not based in reality. So, God bless Donald Trump, the author of The Art of the Deal. And I would
Mm.
say in this deal, he just got a free $400 million plane. So, I think he won this deal.
Look, Donald Trump has departed for Saudi Arabia, calling it a historic tour of the Middle East. His trip will include stops in Qatar and the United Arab Emirates, with possible talks in Turkey on the war in Ukraine. What else can we expect?
Well, I mean, like we were just talking about in the Gaza Strip, obviously Eden, the American hostage that just got released. That's a
Mm.
great step in the right direction. And it looks like Donald Trump is going to have to put his foot down and probably, make some deals that not everybody's going to be happy. Netanyahu's probably going to be upset, and so Hamas, might be upset. But that's truly the art of the good deal is that both parties walk away from the deal feeling like they kind of, got a bad shake. That's when you really get a good deal. And I know that doesn't make sense, but that's just the, cold hard facts when it comes to this. Both people, Hamas and Israel, they're probably not going to leave the situation happy, but Donald Trump needs to put his foot down and protect lives on both sides, because it's just a very unfortunate situation and nobody likes to see what's going on there. And it's just, Don, if anybody can fix it, and I don't know if he can because it is very complicated, it's Donald Trump, and I know he's gonna try his best.
Yeah, well, the achievements of what he's been able to do in just such a short period of time has been extraordinary. So I agree with you there. If anyone's able to do it, it's him. We've got to talk about the mainstream media, because we've certainly blasted CNN for some of their coverage, especially throughout the election campaign. But viewers have been left shocked this time around after a CNN host actually praised Donald Trump for his ability to essentially close the southern border. CNN's Abby Phillip had this to say on the network.
Trump has succeeded. He has shut the border down. There are no border crossings virtually happening right now in this country.
Alex, is that some real news on CNN?
I mean, finally, I think that's the first time they've ever been honest in their 40 years of existence. I mean, CNN is obviously the liberal wing of the media. I mean, all they want to do is rag on Donald Trump. This is obvious. But when they even have to admit that Donald Trump is doing a good job, it shows you that maybe our country is healing a little bit. Maybe CNN is healing a little bit, and maybe they actually want to be, real journalists instead of just a propaganda wing of, all the liberals that want to make America not great again, and Donald Trump does, and that's why Donald Trump is so much better. And CNN, I think that they're going to have to continue to talk about Donald Trump's wins, because you can't hide it. I mean, you can only lie to the American people so much. I think that they're mad that our country is literally healing, and they won't even admit it just because they have such severe Trump derangement syndrome. And Jimmy Kimmel was just on the news talking about how he admitted that he has this. So until they can get rid of the Trump derangement syndrome, I don't think they'll fully be able to talk about Trump in an honest way, but at least they're heading in the right direction.
Alex, I've got to ask you what's going on with Gen Z. It's been revealed that the majority of Gen Zs claim that they could form a deep emotional bond with an AI-generated partner and would even consider marrying one. 83% of young people born between 1997 and 2012 said that they could develop a meaningful connection with a chatbot. 80% said that they'd even consider marrying one if it was legal. Now, this is according to a poll by Joy AI. Are humans really that bad? I mean, what is happening with this younger generation?
I mean, I hate to admit it, but I do think human beings are that bad. I mean, you look at these dating apps the dating apps are so incredibly superficial. You're just swiping left and right for, the dumbest reasons. Maybe they have a Ukraine flag or, whatever reason, you're swiping left and right. So that's superficial. Now children are hypersexualized. So, people are just having difficulties creating relationships with human beings. So the fact that kids are going to lean on AI for future relationships, it doesn't surprise me. It's a scary reality, and I hope people aren't marrying robots. I mean, that would be very dystopian, and I think that would actually be a nightmare. But I wouldn't be surprised if that does happen, because human beings have just lost that ability to connect like we once could before this social media era. And it's sad, but this is a real reality that is probably going to happen in our lifetime, or even if people are doing it just as a way to say, to fight back against the system because they were hurt by a human being. Maybe they're in a bad relationship, so they feel that they have to turn to AI. So yeah, there's going to be people that use it, and it's like Black Mirror. It's literally like a Black Mirror episode coming to reality. Very scary.
So scary, so depressing, and I cannot believe that statistic. 80% of young people would consider marrying one. I mean, it's hard to believe, and sorry to leave it on such a sad and scary note. But Alex, appreciate you coming on Power Hour. Great to speak with you.
Thank you, Gabriella. Always appreciate it.